Hey guys, welcome back. Cage Cast. Hope everybody had a great weekend. It's Monday. Time to do our recap, see what we did with those wins and losses on the bets. I'm coming off a head cold, guys, so I've got my pops on the line. Uh, Go ahead and give us an introduction.
Hey, well, this is OlWhittee. I want you to come check my new channel out. Out with OlWhittee. Be up real soon, but for the time being, I'm going to help my boy out here and see if we can check these fights out.
All right. And uh, on my end, you broke up a little bit giving out the name. Did you say it was checking it out with Old Whitey or checking stuff out with Old Whitey?
Checking stuff out with OlWhittee.
All right. Well, this is old Whitey, guys. This is my pops. He's an ex Golden Gloves boxer back when he was young. We've been watching UFC since it came out 30 plus years ago. And we get together every weekend and go over the fights. And he's been watching me grow this channel. And I told him, hey, let's just jump on. Let's get you on one as well. So let's dive into it, guys. Who watched the Jared Cannonier fight? I know me and my pops watched it. Um, it was exactly how I said it was going to go. Jared Cannonier, don't sleep on him. He's a powerhouse ex heavyweight. What'd you think about that fight, Dad?
Went pretty much how I expected. RoboCop had nothing for him.
Yeah, and I figured that if this went into the later rounds, that he was going to gas out. We hadn't seen him go that deep yet, but we have seen Jared Cannonier push that far. I wasn't thinking it was going to be so early into the fourth round, but he got it done, and we got the win. Let me switch over to DraftKings real quick. As you guys see, 110 bucks going into next week, and we have another good card coming up, which is the Cejudo versus Song De Yong. What do you know about that one, Dad? Who you got on that one?
Well, real familiar with Henry Cejudo's song. You don't. Let's make fun of that. Um, Not so much. He's on a winning streak and Henry's on a losing streak, but he's in a have to win situation. And if for no other reason, because of his experience, I'm going to go with Henry on this one.
Well, the fan in me says Henry. Obviously, you want to see Triple C come back and take a title run. At least go up there and see if we can get him a rematch with Marab. But Song Yong's on a three-fight winning streak, and I think Cejudo is on a three-fight losing streak. You think he's just going to break the skid? Has he been hanging out with Usman? Does he have this one? And what makes you think he's going to have the edge on this one?
Well, even though he's on a three-fight winning streak, two of those fights were not really against ranked opponents, so to speak. You know, his last fight, fantastic, but once again, Henry's been in there with the best. I think he's going to pull this one out.
And I was almost on board, except if Song Yong's last fight wasn't against Peter Yan, which is a top five guy, I'd probably be there with you. But you're right. Cejudo has only lost to the champions. He's not losing to just contenders. He's losing to people that were holding the belt. So maybe that does make the decision. He does have a two weight class advantage over Song Yong, but it's really is, how hungry is he? He took that time off. We know Song Young's young and he's coming in. Plus, he has a 3-inch reach advantage over Henry Cejudo.
Uh, I don't think it'll be much of an issue. Uh, if Henry comes in and he's in shape, he's a monster.
Well, I would say it'd be all about getting past the gap or the void with Song Young with a 3-inch reach advantage, and we know Henry Cejudo's got the explosive power to do it. Now, the fan in me says go with Henry Cejudo, ex champion. He does have the better experience, but you know, here's another end of it. I've got the fighting odds pulled up right here. Song De Jong is a 3-1 betting favorite over Cejudo. Now, hey, there's good money to clean up here. If I went with your route and put $10 on Cejudo, I believe I'm going to get 33.50 back, or I can put that $10 on Song, and I only get $3.44 back on the return. So, big payout with Henry Cejudo. Um, so that's a man 3-1. they're basically looking about
To
Cejudo
me,
get
that's a
steamrolled.
no-brainer. To me, that's a no-brainer just because of the odds.
Well, let's see here. What do I got? I got 110 going into this card. If we did, let's see, I'm going to lock in with a bet here. If I do $5 on Cejudo, then I can come back later in the week with some of the parlay bets. Now, does this one go the distance? Song De Yong's last couple of fights have gone the distance. Does Cejudo go the distance with this one? Does he? Is he going to have trouble
No, I think
taking
there'll be a
Song De Yong
finish on
down?
this one. I think there'll be a finish on this one.
Submission
No, I think it'll go TKO 4th round
for Cejudo.
for Cejudo.
All right, well, I'll take that one. I'm going to go $5
Hey,
on Song De Yong then. It only gives me a
okay.
dollar 72 back, but I'm gonna lock that in right now. Boom. King of cringe.
Ouch.
Well, that's not the only fights coming up. Let me pull some other fights back up. We do have a really good 313 card coming up at right after that. And that's gonna be Alex Pereira versus Ant Goliath. Who you got on that one?
Goliath.
Which one?
Hey, Goliath. I'm going with, Magomed.
Ooh, you're gonna go against Alex Pereira, the king of
Yeah,
knocking
on that
everybody
one I
out.
am. It's time for him to fall. It's time for him to fall, and I know he's a betting favorite, and I know he's a monster, and there he beats everybody, but it's time to go. Everybody gets
It's
beat.
a coin flip right now. It's not even that big of odds. They had Ant Goliath up a while back. How do you think that goes? You think he's just going to take him down and out wrestle him?
Yeah, well, he's gotta take him down. He's not gonna stand up and punch it out with him and get his head knocked off.
Well,
But,
that's not what he said.
yeah, he's gonna take him
He
down
said
and
he could
wrestle him.
outstrike
It'll go the
Alex.
distance.
He literally said,
Pardon
"I
me?
can outstrike." He literally said, "I can outstrike Alex Pereira."
That's a pipe dream. Pipe dream. I don't think anybody out there can outstrike him right now.
Well, and Goliath says he's got that. He's making it sound like there's going to be no ground game. This he's going to show everybody he's the real champ and he can just outbox him.
That's what I'd say too if I was gonna take him to the ground.
Well, what about the undercard for that is Justin Gaethje versus Dan Hooker.
Man, I
Like
don't know.
we literally
The
might
fan
see
in
some
me says go with Justin. Yeah, okay?
the way these guys fight, you might literally see somebody die in the ring for the first time.
Exactly. I mean, it's all gonna be left in there. But I'm such a Guthrie fan and have been for a long, long, long time. He's a good guy.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna place bets on these until we get a lot closer to it. But if I had to take an early bet on this one, it would be uh, early rounds Gaethje, later rounds Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's like Nate Diaz; he can just take the whooping and keep moving forward. Bloody, uh, so can Gaethje, but Gaethje's got that power. If he gets him early, I think that's how Gaethje has it. But if it goes into the later rounds. I think Dan Hooker's gonna be able to weather the storm. It just can he take that Gaethje punishment?
I don't he sets a, such a fast pace, most people can't.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to see. That I mean, it's definitely gonna be a stand up there. I don't see any ground game coming out of that one at all. That's just gonna be a bloody mess.
That'll be fun to watch.
They made it a 5 rounder too. It's not a
Oh,
3 round
really?
co-main. They made it a 5 round. That's why I'm
Hey, now
like,
that's cool.
we might see one of these guys die in the ring. There's 5 rounds here.
No, no, that is cool. That's well worth watching. 5 rounds of, Justin and Dan. Yeah, I'd watch that any night.
Well,
I'd
that's why I was
watch it 2
saying.
nights in a row.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's early rounds, Gaethje, but if it goes in those championship rounds, I think Dan Hooker has a chance. He's still he's a contender there. So, um, I think either one of these guys is one or two fights away from a title fight. Plus, I've heard rumors about a bunch of crazy stuff going on with all these titles. I've heard like what was it today? Rob will relinquish his title and move up a weight class if Pantoja wants to come up, since they're all training buddies. Um, and then I heard Taporia wants to go up to 155, but Islam wants to go up to 170. But Bilal's got the 170 belt and said he'll relinquish the belt and go up to 185 if Islam wants to come up to 170. Basically, just they're all handed in like succession down. Like, oh, you want to come up and you're my buddy? I'll just give up the belt and go up a weight class.
Well, that's almost too clean.
Well, that's how it's unfolding. That's what I was literally watching on the news earlier today, while I was at work. Is that's how it seems to be unfolding. Pantoja called out Demetrius Johnson. Demetrius Johnson said, "I'm retired and not coming back." So he said, "Then I'd be willing to go up to 135." And then Marab said, "Oh well, I don't want to fight my buddy, so I'll go up to 145." And then, but I don't want to fight a Georgian, so uh, they're both country mates. So he said, well, then he was like, "Oh, I'll go up to 155," and then Islam's like, "Well, I'll go up to 170." Bilal's like, "I'll go up to 185." Everybody's just going up weight class so they don't have to fight each other.
Oh, the Arab Emirates will start throwing money at them, and they'll end up fighting each other.
Their names aren't big enough yet. Got to have that Conor
They're
McGregor
headed
name to
in the
get
way,
that
though.
Arab money.
Maybe so. You mean bare knuckle Connor?
Yeah,
He's
well,
teasing that bare knuckle fight.
I don't think he's going to fight anything ever again. He's going to try to become
I
the president of Ireland and roll off into the sunset.
I
If he
believe
fights
I
again,
told
I'd
you
be
that long
surprised.
ago. I believe I told you long ago I'd be surprised if he ever got in the ring again. He's just not hungry enough to do it.
All right, so just to reiterate, you like Justin Gaethje over Dan Hooker, and you went Ant Goliath over Pereira.
Correct.
I don't know if I can bet against Pereira. He's also got a 4-inch reach
I
advantage
know
on.
that's tough, but I know that's a tough one to call, but, you know, as soon as I looked at it, my inner voice told me which way to go on that one, and don't get me wrong, I'm an Alex fan, I love him. What a striker, he's very technical, he stand up, walk right into you, but, Magomed, I think it's time, it's his time.
I don't know, man. His fights are so boring. He went to a draw with Jan, which Alex beat. Just saying, fight
Well,
math.
styles make the fight, though.
Well, if he stands up, he ain't winning that one. I think they're both southpaw actually
Exactly, I
too.
think he's gonna take him down. I think he's gonna take him down and teach him a lesson. Maybe
I
not
think
a big lesson, but a
I think Alex surprises us and takes him down.
alright. I
We'll
don't wanna
see.
have to tell you I told you so, but we'll see.
Hey, Hank Life could get Ben Askren. He could go in for that takedown and get kneed in the face.
Yeah, go for that record.
Doesn't
Fastest
have to be that
knockout.
record. Yeah, Alex has got some great knees. He knows how to time
I
those.
I was gonna say he'd be on the wrong end of that record, but he'd be on the record, though.
Looks like there's one more fight night before we get to that pay per view. So we got the Henry Cejudo fight, and then they just have it looks like a mids card going on, and then into the pay per view. But pay per view is looking pretty decent. I think it'll be a good one. I'll have to do a better breakdown on those, but the women card looks pretty good. We got Amanda Lemos versus Lucindo. That should be a good one. Good brawling one.
I'm gonna have to do homework. I'm gonna have to do a little homework to see where I go on some of these.
Yeah. That plus on the pay per view, I like to watch the weigh ins and the presser, see how everybody's doing, see how that weighs out, see if anybody had a bad weight cut. anybody's messing with anybody else's mind right before the game because that could play a big role before I place my bets. But I mean, if I had to give an early prediction, that Dan Hooker one's like I said, Gaethje early, Dan Hooker late, and then I'm going to go for Alex on that one because you know what happens if
Okay.
Alex gets this one, we get Alex versus whoever wins the heavyweight title.
Exactly. But like I said, I'm just not feeling it this time. I That's all I can say is I'm not feeling it.
I mean, he's got Glover teaching him ground game. He's not like he's going to go in there with just a horrible ground game. Jan couldn't finish him on the ground.
That's true. That's true. I'm just saying, I'm not feeling
Ain't,
Alex on this one.
Ain't Goliath and Jan couldn't finish each other either.
That's
I'm like,
true.
I mean,
Well,
Ain't
once
Goliath.
again, I think he's gonna take him down and fight him on the ground, and that's the only way you're gonna beat Pereira.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But I don't. I don't. So I the way I see Ant Goliath fighting, I just don't see him being a big challenge for Alex Pereira. I don't think we're gonna
I don't
get.
know.
I don't think we're gonna get a bit if Ant Goliath doesn't get it done. And he gets finished. Nobody in that light heavyweight class can do it, and we're gonna have to see Alex go up. Either that or DDP will come up. That's a
DP.
He's a big boy.
That'd be a fun fight. That'd be a
Yeah,
fun fight.
he said once he cleared out his division, he'd be willing to go up and fight Alex at 205. You know, I always thought if
No,
Izzy went up to 205 and got it one good win, I thought we could see that trilogy with Alex Pereira.
yeah, but he'd have to get one good win first.
Hey, they could set him up with somebody he could strike against pretty good.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm an
I don't think
Izzy fan.
Adesanya's cutting much weight, so if they gave him 6 months to put on a little bit of bulk, I think he'd do a lot better.
We'll just have to wait and see. And don't get me wrong, I'm an Izzy fan, always have been. He just hasn't looked right the last couple of fights.
Hmm. I'm
What
looking
else we
over
got? Johnny
the Ant
Walker's
Goliath
fighting?
fights. Do what?
I said, "Did I see Johnny Walker's fighting?"
No, that was Ant Goliath's last fight. He
Oh,
uh
okay.
he beat up knocked out Johnny Walker.
Oh, yeah, we we both watched that fight. In fact, we both made the comment, depends on which Johnny Walker shows up.
Right. Like I said, I've watched all these Ant Goliath fights, and he's just not. He doesn't impress me as much as everybody else thinks. Like the people that he's beat were, already on the skids. You know, he beat Lionheart. Like, half the time that dude shows up crying to his matches. So sometimes it's hard to decide. And then he goes to
That's
decision
pretty funny.
with Santos, and then he beat Johnny Walker, but again, it was like what Johnny Walker was going to show up, and then Rakic he went to the a decision. He went to a draw decision with Jan. I'm like, fights don't go to the distance with Pereira. There is no going to a decision with Pereira.
That's true.
But hey,
But,
his ground game could be shit, like you said. He could get choked out in the first round. Who knows? It's a fight game. He could get
yeah,
knocked
them
out. Izzy
Russians
knocked
like
him
to
out.
choke people out. Hey, them Russians love to choke people out.
I know. I was just showing a friend the other day of somebody uploaded the video of Khabib actually wrestling a bear when he was a little kid.
That's pretty funny looking, isn't it?
Yeah, little baby bear,
I've
little
watched Joe
baby
Rogan,
Khabib.
and he's shown that several times.
Well, I went with Song Diyong. No money to be made there, but I'll still have I'll still get in here later in the week when they put the parlays in and add a few more dollars to the parlay bets, and then hopefully I come out with a little bit extra money for going into that pay per view because I started with 150 and then I'm down at 100 again. Went 50-50 on the last pay per view, so that really hurt.
Well, I love betting with your money.
I mean, this year I've only put in, like $20, or $40. So hey, I'm up. I'm more than double. So I'm doing pretty good this year. I've called.
Nice. No, this is good.
I'm like a 65, 75% calling them right now. I've only I went perfect on one card. I called all the final of these fight nights, and then I just went 50-50 on the last one. Happens sometimes.
Hey, hey, you're doing well. What can I say? Um, but I lost my train of thought. You're gonna have to take it.
All right. Well, we'll just wrap it up right there with that train of thought. Um, Thanks for coming on. We'll get another one with you. Give us all a shout out for your new channel again.
Yeah, come see me at OlWhittee.
Again. Oh, why do you at what?
Checking stuff out with OlWhittee.
All right. New YouTube channel. What's going to be on there? A little bit of fighting stuff, more than just fighting.
We're gonna do some fighting, some music. We're just gonna be checking stuff out. Send me some things you want to check out, and we'll check it out.
All right, guys, go check him out. Checking stuff out with old Whitey. You guys can find his YouTube channel. Go hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and leave comments on this video. Tell us what you think about these bets. Tell us, do you think he's ludicrous thinking Alex Pereira is going to get beat? Am I stupid thinking Alex is going to continue this? Let us know in the comments who had the better fight options for these bets. And let's waste my money. I'll see you guys on the next one. You guys have a good night.
Peace out.